That was close. We just got here.
I know.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rider Sports Spot. I'm your host, Dan Iman.
And I'm Daisy Riverdenaire, and today we'll be talking about sports' biggest headlines.
So why wait? Let's get started with our first story this week. After a long tenure in the NBA, two-time MVP Steve Nash has been diagnosed with nerve damage in his back after trying to recover and make a comeback for this coming NBA season, having played only 65 games in the last 2 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers organization announced that the 40-year-old is likely to miss the entire 2014-15 season. Nash has made hints suggesting that this season would have been his last as a player. The point guard hopes to see some playing time this year and end his basketball career on his own terms. Nash has averaged 14.3 points, 3 rebounds, and 8.5 assists over his 18-year career with the Dallas Mavericks, Phoenix Suns, and currently for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, Peyton Manning has recently reached a milestone that has officially put him in the pantheon of the greats, as he threw his 510th touchdown for his career, passing Brett Favre for the most for a quarterback in the NFL history. Within a few days of launching touchdown pass number 509, tying Favre for the all-time lead, Joe Horrigan, vice president of exhibits at the Football Hall of Fame, immediately got hold of the ball and traveled all the way back to Canton, Ohio, where the ball, photos of Peyton Manning, and Demaryius Thomas, recipient of the historical touchdown, and a piece of paper with the number 509 written on it, are now officially on display in an exhibit entitled Pro Football Today. So what do you think about that story, Dan?
Wow, it's really crazy how tentative they are. I mean, immediately right after the game, he knew exactly what he had to do and where that ball was headed.
Exactly.
That's always impressive. Oh, absolutely incredible. Great story to hear. Unfortunately, we end today on a rather sad note, as recently a tragic event shook the sports world on Sunday afternoon. Oscar Taveras, up-and-coming prospect for the St. Louis Cardinals, has passed away after what was reported to be a fatal car crash. Taveras was on a trip to his native Dominican Republic with his girlfriend, after which he lost control of the vehicle, leading to the crash. Both he and his girlfriend lost their lives in the accident. Taveras was the number 3 prospect in the world, batting .321 in 6 minor league seasons. He was called up to the majors this year, hitting 3 home runs and 22 RBIs. He also hit a big solo home run against the San Francisco Giants in Game 2 of this year's NLCS. We wish the Taveras family with our deepest condolences. Oscar was 22 years old.
So young.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Definitely a tragedy. But, you know, one of the things we learn is through times of tragedy, it's sometimes good to see things that make us feel happy. And, you know, something that always makes us feel happy is trying something new. And I know recently you went out and you did try something new, trying to play tennis for the first time.
I did. It was extremely challenging for someone who has never played tennis before. It was definitely a task, but, you know, I think I learned quite a bit.
Absolutely.
And
cool.
Can we take a look at it?
Absolutely. Go right to it.
So when you're holding the racket, you could just hold it like this and straight. It would be the beginner. And then you could move it right or left. I personally move it left because it gives me more strength when I'm doing the top spin, which is just a kind of stroke that you do when you're more advanced. So that's how you could hold the racket. So I would just start like that for you. Okay. Then when you're hitting the strokes in all of them, you should move to the side because you want to, when you're hitting it, you want to move your hip to give it more strength when you're hitting the ball. So you would do like that if you're going for the right one, and then you would move like this for the left one. Now that you've passed the first test, we're gonna go to ground strokes. We're gonna do a forehand and a backhand. So we're gonna let the ball bounce, and then just to feel the movement, we're gonna go right, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the left. Bounce the ball and go left.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Do you do it with one hand?
You can do it with 2 hands if you want. I think it's more comfortable to do the forehand with just 1 hand, and then the backhand with 2 hands. It gives it more power.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to show you first, and then you can do it. See, that one was good, because that one went in the box. It has to go in the box, by the way.
Okay.
Oh,
it went somewhere.
That was certainly an interesting video, watching you there. You sort of seemed in your element a little bit towards the end there.
Definitely not. It was very difficult to play tennis. Isabella made it look very easy, but
yeah, she did.
She was very patient with me, very, you know, but it was definitely a challenge, a task to keep playing tennis with her. But let's get into our next story, where Kyle Boris goes into talking about 2 different athletes in 2 different sports and how they are a lot closer than we think. Here's Kyle Boris with Kyle's Connections.
Derek Jeter, Kobe Bryant, 2 legends of their respected sports. You may know everything about them, but the two are actually connected and are much closer than one might think. Derek Jeter, New York Yankees, number 2. Number 2, Dr. Evil bring it to Mike Myers, now Mike Stanton, now Giancarlo Stanton. Florida Marlins, now Miami Marlins, Billy the Marlin, Mr. Met, Philly Fanatic, Philadelphia Phillies Ryan Howard, Ryan Braun, got him caught on steroids, Jose Canseco, Jose Reyes, Jose. Shortstop, stop and go, route runner, that's Calvin Johnson, Megatron, Tron Legacy, starring Olivia Wilde. Wildcat, bring it to Tim Tebow time out, referee, whistle blown out, right out of football, bring it to Ray Rice, Ray Lewis, Baltimore Ravens, quote the Raven, nevermore. Lance Moore, Pittsburgh Steelers, Philip Rivers, Crimea River, Justin Timberlake, Lake Michigan, Michigan State, Detroit, Michigan, Detroit Pistons, Kyle Singler, who was born in Oregon, headquarters of Nike, Just Do It, just signed Kevin Durant, OKC Thunder, bring it back to the Seattle Supersonics, Sonic the Hedgehog, Hogwarts, Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, JK, just kidding, Jason Kidding, Brooklyn Nets, to the Milwaukee Bucks, Buccaneers, Tampa Bay, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, first take, first place, division title, conference championship, We Are the Champions, sung by Queen, Gotta Have a King, King James, James Harden, hard in the paint like Shaq, like Shaquille O'Neal, who won 3 NBA titles with none other than Kobe Bryant. Whoa.
Wow, that's certainly, who knew?
So Kobe Bryant and Derek Jeter are actually connected.
All it took was all of that, and they are definitely closer than I thought they'd be. It's definitely interesting. But speaking of Kobe Bryant, we have a very interesting segment coming in today by our own Benedict Odita. Here's 30 Seconds with B.
Welcome to 30 Seconds with B. I'm Benedict Odita, and here we're going to talk about the unusual side of sports. Don't worry, it's only going to take 30 seconds. You can time it. Our story today goes to the NBA superstar Kobe Bryant. The Black Mamba figured out a remedy to his fadeaway by studying the hunting habits of a cheetah. In an interview with New York Times, Kobe said, quote, "When you watch me shoot my fadeaway jumper, you'll notice that my leg is always extended. So one day, I'm watching the Discovery Channel, and I see a cheetah hunting. Its tail gives it a balance. And that's when I was like, my leg could be the tail, right?" With his return to the NBA season, we'll see how far his cat-like reflexes can take him. That's all we have for these 30 seconds. See you next time.
A cheetah inspires Kobe Bryant.
His fadeaway shot. That's
Who knew?
definitely interesting. Your inspiration can come from anywhere.
And literally anywhere. That's definitely for sure. Absolutely.
So let's go to our next segment where our statistician, Mike Umbro, goes into By the Numbers.
What's up, sports fans? Welcome to By the Numbers. I'm Mike Umbro, and I'm going to show you guys some crazy stats from around the world of professional sports. And with that, let's get started. Our first number is 28, which is the amount of seasons it took for the Kansas City Royals to get back into the playoffs, which means the last time they were in it was 1986. That's a long time for any team to struggle. The Royals won their first game against the Oakland A's 9-8 by stealing 7 bases in a span of 12 innings. This just goes to show that speed kills. Our next number today will be 29, which is where Tom Brady ranks in QB rating in the NFL. Through the first 4 weeks of the 2014 season, Brady holds a very subpar 79.1 QB rating, which is the lowest of his entire career by a landslide. Before the season started, he made a quote saying, and I quote, "When I suck, I'll retire," unquote. Will this be the year? We'll have to see as the season progresses. Our last number will be 2,743, which is the amount of games played by the one and only Derek Jeter in his entire career, all with the New York Yankees. Jeter batted .350 or higher in 4 World Series appearances, the only MLB player in history to do so. And he has made the playoffs every year of his illustrious career, except unfortunately the last 2 seasons. Not to mention he is the only player besides Lou Gehrig to be 500 wins over 500. There is no doubt that Jeter was an icon to Major League Baseball and an overall class act. Captain, we're going to miss you. That's all we have today for By the Numbers. I'm Mike Umbro, and thank you for watching.
Thanks so much, Mike. Wow, I mean, so many stats, so many numbers I don't know what to do with. I can't imagine managing all that.
That's why I love sports. Like, there's so many numbers, it means so many things.
Ugh, it's crazy. It's crazy how much just stuff is going on. But moving on to our next segment today, we've heard a lot about basketball and baseball and every sport in between, but how about a little bit of hockey, right? We have our very own Andrew Sajak with our player spotlight for Ryder Hockey.
This injury happened when I was playing for my hometown team, the Long Island Rebels, and we were on an away game, and it was in New Jersey.
On the starry night of September 26th, at the Laux Ice Arena, the puck was dropped as the 2014 Rider University hockey team slapped off their season. The players were all ecstatic to get on the ice, except for one, unlucky freshman who could not skate on the ice just yet.
I caught the bad end of it. My right knee bent in, and it was at like a 90-degree angle with my body. And as soon as it happened, I knew I did something to it.
Jordan Zouter said this is not his first time tearing his meniscus or his ACL. For certain, this definitely is not his first hockey-related injury.
I tore my meniscus on my knee that I tore my ACL, and I got surgery for that. And then same year, I had a concussion, which lasted about 2-3 weeks.
Although Jordan may have an injury, since it has been 6 months prior to the incident, he says he can do anything the team can do, except for contact.
If it's skating, if it's shooting, I could do all that, just no contact.
To support his team, Jordan has been to all of the Rider Bronx practices and games since preseason began. If the recovery keeps moving smoothly, Jordan will be back on the ice soon enough.
Hopefully by the end of the season, maybe I'll catch the last few games, or I'd say definitely by next season, I'll be back.
If that's not the definition of a team player, I don't know what is. I'm Andrew Zajac, reporting for Rider Sports Spot.
Greetings all, and welcome to this segment of Triple Threat. This is Brandon Merchant, and I'll be your host this evening, asking contestants sport-related questions to test their knowledge of the sports world. At the end of the game, contestants with the most points will win. Now let's meet our contestants.
I'm Mike, and I'm a sexy beast.
I'm Ryan, and I have on a Vineyard Vine shirt.
I'm Isabella, and I'm from Colombia.
Great to have you guys on the show, and I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you.
Now, the rules are simple. I will ask you a question, and you answer them. The first question is worth 1 point, the second question is worth 2, and the third is worth 3. The player with the most points at the end wins, and they get to do a handshake, as a little treat for you guys. So let's play Triple Threat. So, first question for you guys. What city do the Marlins currently play in? Is it A, Jacksonville, B, Miami, or C, Tampa Bay? Would you look at that, you guys? All our contestants got it right. 1 point to all 3. So let's move on to the next question. Number 2, Jerry Rice held the single-season receiving record for nearly 20 years. This was until last year when it was broken by a new record holder. Which receiver set the new single-season record receiving with 1,964 yards? Was it A, Brandon Marshall, B, A.J. Green, or C, Calvin Johnson? Our contestants are actually smart right now. They all got it right. Once again, 2 points for everybody. So 3 points in total right now. Now going into the last question, this is more difficult. So let's get it started. Derek Jeter recently played his last game for the New York Yankees. One of his best seasons was in 1999 when the Yankees went on to win the World Series. What was his batting average for that season? Was it A, .349, B, .417, or C, .334? The correct answer is A.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Isabella got it right. She is the winner for today's segment. Well, that'll do it today for Triple Threat. The final score is Mike with 3, Ryan with 3, and our winner today, Isabella, finishes with 6 points. Congratulations, Isabella. Better luck next time, you guys.